A member of the Los Angeles Police Department in a halftime show cruises in via parachute into the Coliseum as we look at the first half statistics, and they pretty much illustrate the dominance of the Los Angeles Rams through the first two quarters. Look at those first downs, 14-3, and overall yardage just completely a Los Angeles controlled game as they lead it 14-0.
It's the kind of stat that you don't want to see. They say stats are for losers, and those stats right now shows clearly that the Philadelphia Eagles are losing 14-0.
And here is one of the best plays you'll ever see in a pro football game. Watch Namath drop back. Ron Jesse comes out from the far flank. Perfect play fake to him, and Namath holds, drills. Coverage is good by Bunting, but the ball is perfectly thrown to McCutcheon for a touchdown. The second throw of the game for a score by Namath. That was from 13 yards out. The subsequent extra point was good by Raphael Septien. And if you haven't heard much about Raphael Septien, you might in the future. He's out Southwest Louisiana. Kicked a 57-yard field goal during a collegiate game. In an actual scrimmage, he's hit from 67 yards. And with nobody blocking at him, he's hit one from 74 yards. So he is an offense. Now Horst Muhlman will kick it off for the first time in the game for the Philadelphia Eagles as they open the third quarter, delivering the ball to the Rams. Cullen Bryant and Wendell Tyler, the rookie from UCLA, are back deep for Los Angeles. The Rams under Chuck Knox won 44 games, lost but 11, and tied 1 through Knox's first 4 seasons as head coach. Last year the Rams won the NFC West for a 4th consecutive year with a 10-3-1 record. The Rams have not lost a home opener since 1963, and they're in control of this game right now, 14-0. Here comes Wendell Tyler. He can take it all the way if they give him some room to go, and he gets it out to the 40-yard line, and there Namath and the Los Angeles Rams go on offense, 1st and 10.
Again, a big plus for that Ram offensive line and backfield quarterback. They're starting with only 60 yards to go for a possible score. Great position to start any football game.
Martin Mitchell, a rookie from Tulane, number 48, was down to make the play on special teams for Philadelphia. McCutcheon, the leading rusher in the game, is coming off almost a 1,200-yard year a season ago. Rams are getting that good offense going. Here comes Cappelletti. He is caught by number 80, Art Toms, and ridden down. But again, Cappelletti, following the power blocking of the left side. Doug France and Tom Mack gets the ball out to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 5. The Rams probably will go to ball control now, their usual game with a big lead.
On the opening play, they haven't changed at all. They went into the halftime locker room, I'm sure not making much discussion, saying stay with what we got, keep on doing what you're doing because we're doing it well.
Hand off to McCutcheon. The Eagles shut that down after a short gain. It'll bring up 3rd and short yardage. Los Angeles going right at the Philadelphia Eagle front 3. As we were pointing out earlier, in previous games in the preseason and throughout the first regular season game against Tampa, the Eagles blitzed on almost every passing down, even on a lot of running plays, but they haven't used the blitz at all here today.
I think the #1 reason why they haven't blitzed that much is that they're afraid of the Ram quarterback, Joel Namath. He has a reputation of burning teams that like to blitz him.
3rd down and 3. Manny Sistrunk, Art Toms, and Hairston across the defensive front of Philadelphia. And here is the pitch by Namath, right on the money between 2 defenders for a 1st down to the 47-yard line. McCutcheon swinging out of the backfield, turned in on the linebacker. Terry Totolo was there, knocked him down, but it's a 1st down play, as you'll see again.
McCutcheon swinging out. Joe waits on him, makes sure that he gets the necessary yardage, covered well by Totolo, but unfortunately the ball got there just a second ahead of the defender.
Rams at the Eagle 47, 1st and 10. Namath looking again. Going for the ball is Jackson. Oh, very nearly a penalty marker. Jackson protesting, and perhaps with good reason, as he was knocked off the play by Herman Edwards. But the official right on top of it must have ruled that Edwards was making a play on the ball.
Right now it appears as though Coach Chuck Knox has opened the playbook for Joe Willie. He has thrown 2 consecutive times. This pass, I thought, should have been caught, but a little bit bumped. He had plenty of time, releases well, and let's see what happens downfield. No, I don't think there was a bump there.
Namath has now thrown the ball for 116 yards. He has completed 11 of 17 for 116 and 2 scores. You see 2nd down and 10 at the Eagle 47. Rams lead 14-0. Cappelletti, and he beats Lemaster. Frank Lemaster drawing a beat on John Cappelletti, but there is a penalty marker down on the field.
The Eagles then got a good movement from that defensive line. It was not a linebacker breaking free. It was a stunt by the linebacker and their tackle, sending him in free. I think it might have been Lemaster or no, Harrison. Nice stunt, freeing it open.
Personal foul, clipping, number 61 offense.
Look at the foul here. A sure clip from behind by number 61, Rich Saul, the Los Angeles center.
Joe Namath having a big game today, but he's had some this guy's career has been really up and down. As they said, we now have a Namath passing down coming up, 2nd down and 25. Rams wisely go to the run. Last season with the Jets, Namath only had a 39 rating in the NFL rating system of quarterbacks. And as they say in 75, the only guy that had a worse year in 75 than Namath was Nixon. Namath threw 28 interceptions that year. You remember some of those, don't you, Em?
We had some rough days, Don. I can remember coming into the huddle, and after calling a pass play, Joe would say, Boozer, Matt, or Riggins, I want you to cover to the right or left because they're bringing it back.
3rd down and about 20 now. Namath goes to the run, and now the Eagles get fired up. That's Berge shooting through. Big Bill Berge, a 9-year veteran out of Arkansas State. The all-NFC middle linebacker last season, coming off perhaps his greatest year in pro football. Watch Berge just shoot.
This has been the weapon used by the Philadelphia Eagles in that first ball game against Tampa Bay and during the preseason. It is called the Red Dog of the Blitz. Berge does it well. They're going to have to do more of it to get heat on the sharp Joe Willie Namath.
And now, dropping back deep is Larry Marshall. Glenn Walker in to punt for the Rams. Angles it downfield. Gets off a good one. Marshall will return it. There's one good block. Marshall gets it out to the 25-yard line. Marshall is not gun shy. Formerly a draft choice of the Kansas City Chiefs. He loves to run into people. He just did there. Jim Jodat knocked him down. And now, as the Eagles stop the Rams, Philadelphia takes over the ball.
Você me conhece? Eu sou conhecido porque eu uso a cabeça no campo de futebol. Mas também eu uso a cabeça quando viajo. Eu sempre levo comigo o cartão da American Express. Já usei em mais de 40 países. Ele é conhecido e respeitado em todo o mundo, até nos lugares onde eles falam línguas estranhas, como o inglês.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
We put Mobil 1 into this car and drove it 15,000 miles without an oil change. We then tested the oil and found that used Mobil 1 still protected the engine as well as new ordinary motor oil. Mobil 1, the oil that saves you gas, saves you oil changes.
With Emerson Boozer, this is Don Criqui back at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The day is a beauty. It's temperatures in the high 70s. Wind is not a factor. Cloudless blue skies here in Southern California. The Eagles get the ball for the first time in the second half, 1st and 10 at their 25. They trail 14-0. Hogan. Now the Eagles come out fighting as the Eagles get their first. Probably the biggest game they've had all day running wide. They have not had good success getting wide on the Los Angeles defense. Bill Simpson and Dave Elmendorf, the two safeties, made the tackles. Perry and Jackson are the cornerbacks. Brzezinski, a rookie from Ohio State, Youngblood and Robertson back the line. There is Ron Jaworski, the quarterback out of Youngstown State. Second round draft choice for the Rams back in '73 in his first year with the Eagles. Back the other way now. Here comes Sullivan. Good block. And that's going to be a first down carry. Pat Thomas knocked him out of bounds. Very nice blocking by the Philadelphia Eagle offensive front. Getting out in front of the play was number 75, Stan Walters. The guards were out in front. Wade Key and Jerry Sizemore.
It shows that the Eagles now have gotten on the right page. They're able to get some offense. Dreyer tries in vain to string that play out so that his linebackers and his cornerback can come up and make the play. But the Eagles were able to soar on the corners.
Carmichael is wide to the left. He's not caught a ball yet. Charlie Smith wide to the right has two big receptions. They go to the run on first down. From the 37-yard line, the Eagles bang the ball out close to the 40-yard line. Now they're going to spot him down at the 38. Youngblood made the stop for the Los Angeles Rams, a consensus all-pro defensive end, now in his 7th year from Florida.
Mentioned in Harold Carmichael, he has a string of 60-some catches, not 60 catches, but one catch at least for 60-some games. Thus far, he has not caught at least one pass, or he's caught at least one pass in 66 consecutive games.
Second down and 9 for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jaworski, good play fake, has time, gets it away just in time, intercepted. The ball is picked off by Bill Simpson, the strong safety from Michigan State. And so the Rams got it back as Jaworski was pressured and put it up, and Simpson was right there to take the ball, and understandably some Rams are happy about that.
This is the kind of play that Mr. Jaworski hoped that his ball had a string like a yo-yo so it would come back to him. He knew once he released it he was in trouble, but unfortunately you cannot bring it back.
Crefley, the tight end, was the intended receiver, so now the Rams have the ball in good field position.
The Ford in Your Future is coming October 7th. The new Ford Fairmont. A new wagon designed for today and the years ahead. The Fairmont wagon has excellent mileage ratings, but while it is trim and lean outside, Fairmont has almost 90% of the passenger space of most large wagons, and with its seat down can swallow up all this cargo. Is Fairmont the Ford of your future? Test drive Fairmont October 7th. Find out for yourself. Fairmont, the newest, better idea from the Wagon Master.
Time to trade in for TouchTune at your Magnavox dealer now. Trade in your old TV for any new Magnavox TouchTune color television and save big. Just in time for football season. And just for touching any TouchTune television, you'll be handed free the official 1977 NFL record manual. Choose from a wide range of prices and styles during trade-in for TouchTune time. Trade and save at your Magnavox dealer now.
Hawkeye hits rock bottom as Radar is wounded in action on MASH. Tuesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
The Rams break the huddle following the interception of Jaworski by Bill Simpson. Cappelletti. Outlaw tried to turn the run in, but Cappelletti eluded it, got to the outside, so the Rams demonstrating much more speed than they've had in the preseason in the first game as they are moving the ball up the middle and on the outside flanks. And Cappelletti advanced the ball that time down inside the 30-yard line to the 29, a gain of 5 yards. On 2nd and 5, Namath has receivers to either side. Jesse's to the right, Jackson to the left. They go to the run to Cappelletti. Boy, John Williams was playing defense there. The offensive tackle for the Rams came across the top trying to knock an eagle off the play. I think he got part of Cappelletti. Watch 75 on the Rams come over. He hits an eagle, but hits him right into Cappelletti. So it'll bring up 3rd down and short yardage now for Los Angeles. The ball advanced down to the 28, 3rd and 3. 8.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter here at the Coliseum. Rams are leading it 14-0. Cappelletti fights ahead for a first down. John Cappelletti working hard, gets the ball inside the 25-yard line, and we'll watch him go again behind the pulling guards.
This is the Rams' bread and butter play. They will run this thing no matter who they're playing against. It's a power play off your tackles. Lead back McCutcheon. Sometimes they'll bring a guard. Cappelletti, the ball carrier, scrambles and fights and scratches his way for the needed first down.
1st and 10 for the Rams. 24-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles in the third quarter. Back to the weak side. McCutcheon. Boy, he's running hard. I tell you, I don't know if they've said to these Rams or fed these Rams during the past week since the loss of Atlanta, but this is the football team they were expected to be. This week, Chuck Knox said his game plan is hit and hustle.
Done well here. Guard got knocked off, but Cappelletti in front. McCutcheon sees daylight. He rams into Berge, a big man Berge. He has to hold on for dear life to stop Lawrence McCutcheon. There was an article earlier this week by one of the Los Angeles newspapers stating that McCutcheon was concerned about his running, has not been running as well as he wants to.
He's got 91 yards, McCutcheon, and 17 carries, and now he gets up close to 100. McCutcheon approaching the 100-yard mark here midway through the third quarter. On 18 carries, he bangs the ball down to the 10-yard line where Berge, the Eagles' middle linebacker, stopped him. Next week, the Philadelphia Eagles have a tough game. They'll be going against the Lions at Pontiac, Michigan, against the Detroit Lions. The Rams at home against the San Francisco 49ers. Cappelletti has 50 yards and 14 carries. 1st and 10. McCutcheon all the way down to the 5-yard line.
If you're a Philadelphia Eagle defensive coordinator, or if you're Dick Vermeil, you would hope that the Rams would put the ball in the air, because what the Rams are doing right now, they're eating away at that clock, even though it's in the third quarter. You still don't want to see a sustained running drive.
Terry Totolo and Bill Berge were on the stop. Second down and goal at the 5. McCutcheon is chopped down at the 3. The Eagles, when they bring up their linebackers, have been very tough against the run. The Rams have run with relative ease against the Eagles when they're set in the basic front 3 with the 4 linebackers.
Now's the time for that Eagle front 3 or front 4, whichever they switch to, should put a little concrete in the shoes, anchor themselves, and hope that they can hold them off.
Pete Lazatich in the game as the middle guard. The nose tackle, as they refer to him, was on the stop. Now the Rams go at 2 tight ends. 3rd and goal from the 3. McCutcheon has 104 yards and 20 carries for Los Angeles. 3rd and goal for the Rams. Namath rolling out, takes a look, puts it up and throws it away. He was looking at Charles Young, the tight end, who was covered, and so Namath wisely threw the ball away. And the Rams now send out Rafael Setien to try a pretty much point-blank field goal. It'd be like an extra point.
That's an unusual for Namath, a little roll to the outside. Once you do that, your defender gets past your block, and you've had it. Mr. Tom went over, thumped him in the chest just for good luck.
At Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the game of the day, the Raiders and the Steelers, and Oakland leading on 3 field goals, 9-0 in the third quarter. Errol Mann has kicked the 3 field goals for the Raiders in that game.
Out of Denver in the third quarter, the Broncos are leading Buffalo 16-6.
Nolan Cromwell will hold for the Rams, a rookie from Kansas. Setien hits the ball. It's good. He got it through. Looked like it might barely make it, and it just caught the upright inside and got through. And so the Los Angeles Rams annex their lead to 17-0.
Where does your money go after you put it in your bank? Well, some of it's right here. Building your neighborhood, construction loans and home mortgages. But also with municipal bonding, money for your public parks, and money for your schools. Today, America's banks have over $80 billion invested in communities like yours. So if you believe in your community, there's no better place to put your money than your bank. America's bankers, helping you change things for the better.
Do get ahead these days, you got to keep on your toes. So I've got something to keep my competition flat-footed. Sunoco's penny-pinching pump. It has 190. The gas is made to sell below my regular, and 220, the gas that sells below my premium. So if your car runs on regular or premium, my pump could save you money on quality gas. Listen, if I don't want you to go right by me, I got to do right by you. Sunoco's penny-pinching pump can fill up your tank for less. That's my way of being very friendly.
That's how it breaks down. 76 yards in 9 plays. Again, the Rams using up the clock, taking just 4 minutes to go that far on a sustained drive. The field goal was good by Setien, and they now lead the game 17-0. I think we're going to see Ron Jaworski putting it up early and often.
I would say that ball fell off not because of a breeze in the Coliseum, but the steam coming from the Eagles. They have to get on the board.
Wilbert Montgomery at the 4, 10, 20, to the outside, to the 25, and fights his way to the 26-yard line. So the rookie from Abilene Christian gets it out to the 26, and there the Eagles go on offense 1st and 10. Cromwell was on the tackle for the Rams. Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, in addition to the World's Strongest Men competition, you'll be watching a great horse race, the Cup race, with some of the great animals in thoroughbred racing, including Forgo, 3-time Horse of the Year. The Super Bowl of Motocross, an event that was staged here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, will also be part of next Saturday's CBS Sports Spectacular. 1st and 10. Bang. Jim Youngblood got all of the ball carriers. Sullivan, he came on a blitz, filled the gap, and put the hard hit on.
Good play by Mr. Youngblood, and if he keeps playing like this, he might make the fans around here forget about Reynolds, because that was as fine a hit as you want to get in any game.
In the second game in Toronto between the Yankees and the Blue Jays, the Yankees leading 1-0 in the 6th inning. If you weren't with us earlier, mind you that the Yankees were a 15-0 victor in the first game as they close on the American League Eastern title. Boston did win today in a rout. They remain 2.5 back at this point. Jaworski fires it in the flat to Hogan. And the Rams close it down at the 25-yard line, resulting in actually a loss of a half-yard on the play. Fred Dreyer ran the play down, the defensive end on the right side, along with his contemporary on the left, Jack Youngblood. And so the Los Angeles Rams continue to control the game, possessing the ball with sustained offense when they have it, and shutting down the Eagle offense as we now have 3rd down and 11 coming up. The Rams have come up with in this game 55 plays. They've had possession of the ball. They're just 29 for the Eagles. Jaworski on 3rd and 11. Swings it out to Hogan. Youngblood trying to catch him, and does. And the Eagles will have to punt it back.
It was an attempted screen by the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jack Youngblood smelled this thing long before it developed. He was out there, matter of fact, beyond the offensive line. How he got there so quickly, I don't know. I'm sure the ball carrier didn't either.
Jack Youngblood, an all-pro defensive end and an all-day job for any offensive tackle. And now here's the punt, the low snap. Rams got a big rush on it. Carl Eckhern almost got the ball. Spike Jones did well to get it away, and now the Eagles get a little bit of a roll as it goes down to the 42-yard line of Los Angeles. And there the Rams go back on offense 1st and 10. The Eagles have only 11 yards from Sullivan rushing in 4 carries, only 2 yards from Hogan in 7 carries.
All across our land, people know our brand. You can trust AC. Thanks, AC. Spark Plugs by AC. We'll help you smile throughout the miles. You can trust AC. Thanks, AC. Spark Plugs by AC. So when you want to go, we're the name to know. You can trust AC. Thanks, AC. Spark Plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs by AC.
Thanks, AC.
Maybe you're using Desenex, but to kill the fungus that causes the burning, cracking, and itching of athlete's foot, Aftate is better, much better. It's the killer. Aftate kills all major types of athlete's foot fungus and helps prevent reinfection. In fact, the medication in Aftate has been proven more effective in killing athlete's foot fungus than the medication in Desonex. Aftate is better, much better. It's the killer.
The Rams break the huddle. We have 3:09 to play in the third quarter. Los Angeles with a 17-0 lead. Joe Namath directing the offense. Having one of his best games in a long time, goes on a straight-ahead power run to Cappelletti, following the offensive blocking of his middle line, Mack, Saul, and Hera. And John Cappelletti advances the ball out across the 45-yard line to the 47. He picked up 5 yards on the play. Berge and Sistrunk on the tackles. The San Francisco 49ers, who'd not scored a touchdown in about 5 games going back into the preseason, have come alive now and have taken the lead over Miami 15-13. That's at Candlestick Park. Cappelletti that time managed to get only about a yard as he advanced the ball out close. That's at Candlestick Park. Cappelletti that time managed to get only about a yard as he advanced the ball out close to the 49-yard line. Again, the Rams running the ball right at the Eagle offense. Los Angeles with a big lead, looking to just move the ball out and run the clock. Playing ball control, Carl Hairston 78 and Bill Berge 66. We're on the stop for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right now, Mr. Namath has to be very happy because he has not been touched all day except after the ball had been released one time in this quarter.
They've given him time, and Namath has delivered. Sets up again now. Swings it out to Cappelletti, who lost the ball. Very nearly tossed it over to the Eagles. You'll see the pass blocking here illustrated for Joe Namath as John Williams sets up, and then Hera pulls back and picks off Bunning coming on a blitz as the Eagles are now starting to shoot their linebackers more. They've got to get more pressure on Namath. Namath seems to like it here in Los Angeles.
He's been trying for about 4 years to get out here, and finally Mr. Rosenblum did something about it. He had a fierce campaign about 2 years ago trying to get to L.A.
Glenn Walker hits one of his towering punts. Marshall signals for a fair catch, and he did well just to catch that ball. That's about as high as anybody hits him. Glenn Walker, the rookie from Southern California. So Marshall is forced into a fair catch, make it the 17 where he got the ball. Next week, you'll be seeing lots of football action in various parts of the country, including these Eagles against the Lions at Detroit. Green Bay plays the Vikings at Bloomington, Minnesota. The Giants go against Atlanta. Dallas was a 41-21 victory over the Giants today. And then the big second game, the Cardinals got on the win track today. They beat the Bears 16-13, and Washington also won today over Atlanta. They'll be locking up in the second game doubleheader. Check your local listings for the game or games in your area. Swing pass goes out. Running with the ball on the swing pass from Jaworski was Tom Sullivan, and he got the ball out close to the 25-yard line.
Mr. Sullivan got as much as he could out of that little swing pass. It was only about a 3-yard pass. He caught it and grind his way up another 4 or 5 yards.
Bob Brudzinski knocked him down, the rookie linebacker from Ohio State getting his first start. Second down and 2 now for the Philadelphia Eagles and Ron Jaworski. Second back through is Hogan. The Rams might have the football. They do. Hogan rushed ahead for enough for the first down. He got 4 yards, but the ball was knocked free. And the Rams come up with it to stop the Eagle drive. Bill Simpson comes up with a football.
Mr. Hogan got a little bit careless here with the football coming inside. Anytime you're going to have to do a little weaving coming inside, you've got to tuck that ball away because all the traffic is inside. It's like jumping into a bowl of piranha fish.
And it was Fred Dreyer, the defensive end on the right side, who stripped the ball from Hogan. Knocked it free, and the ball now goes back over to the Los Angeles Rams. 1st and 10 at the Eagle 28. Namath gives off. McCutchen runs, and the Eagles shut it down. Carl Hairston playing the defensive front on the outside, one of the ends. They're switching the middle guards a lot. Tom started the game. Lazatich has been in there. As you see, McCutchen was shaken up on the play. Charlie Johnson also playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. McCutchen, who's over 100 yards rushing with the ball. We now have a timeout on the field, an injury timeout. And Wendell Tyler's going in for him.
Looked like somebody dialed his number that time. We hope it is not serious. It appears as though there's something to the head. But he got sandwiched nicely here. The kind of defense that the Eagles must get in the closing minutes of the 3rd quarter, because they have to get back into the ballgame, and there is enough time. Only if they can get some offense generated, move the ball down the field, either by the running attack or passing. Thus far, they have not done well in either department.
So we have an injury time on the field. McCutchen, who's having a spectacular day for the Rams. You can only hope it's not a serious injury. McCutchen has gained 104 yards in 21 carries, being attended to. Next Saturday at 4:30, the CBS Sports Spectacular. The first week of the World's Strongest Men competition. They'll do everything from throwing truck tires to pulling buses, and looks like McCutchen just got a bang on the leg. He appears to be all right, coming up under his own power. You'll see one of the major thoroughbred events, the Cup, one of the New York Racing Association's big events, including Horse of the Year Forgo contending, and also motocross racing next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. The Hollywood Hills loom in the background as the Los Angeles Rams, on a clear sunny day in Southern California, look to annex their 17-0 lead. 2nd down and 10 for Los Angeles. Namath is looking deep. He has all the time in the world. Jesse is open, and he is all the way down to the 8-yard line. Ron Jesse again comes over the middle to catch the ball. 21-yard gain on the play.
Looks like one of Joe's favors today, turning Jesse down inside in front of John Sanders. This time he just shields his body well, gets up into the air to make sure if the defender is near him that he cannot reach around to get the ball, which is why his feet left the ground. Good reception by the Rams.
So the gun just sounded, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: the Los Angeles Rams 17, the Philadelphia Eagles nothing. We pause now for a word from your local station.
Lenny loses his cool when his apartment catches fire in the riotous premiere of Busting Loose, Wednesday night on CBS.
Lawrence McCutchen, who's rushed for over 100 yards in this game and caught 1 touchdown pass, has come out now, banging up his left leg apparently. Cullen Bryant is in, and so are 2 tight ends as the Rams go to the power formation on 1st and goal from the Eagles 7. John Capoletti got only a yard. He was knocked down at the 6-yard line. Hairston came across, number 78. Also on the stop was linebacker Frank Lemaster, number 55. Lemaster, Totolo, Berge, and Bunning back the line for the Eagles. John Outlaw and Herman Edwards at the corners for Philadelphia. Randy Logan, a strong safety, comes up to force the run as he's playing wide on the right side. Again, the Eagles make the hard hit. Driving tackle off the bottom of the pile is Terry Totolo. So that will bring up 3rd and goal, as on consecutive downs now running the ball right at the Eagles. The Rams have gained only 2 yards. And Harold Jackson, a wide receiver, comes in, so Namath now will open up his offense. Charlie Young comes out. Jackson is wide to the left. Ron Jesse is wide to the right. 3rd down and goal for the Rams from the Eagles 6.
34, set. 385. 385.
Timing pattern in the end zone. He had the young cornerback Herman Edwards backing up, looping it over the defense to Jackson.
This is one of Joe Willie's favorite patterns. At New York, he had 2 big, tall receivers outside, and he would loft the ball high in the air and allow them to jump to get it. We got a report from the bench that Lawrence McCutcheon, to all the McCutcheon fans and to the Los Angeles Rams, that he was just kicked in the calf muscle. Just a spasm, nothing serious. He should be all right.
So now Raphael Setien will try the field goal. It's from the 13-yard line, a 23-yard attempt with rookie Nolan Cromwell holding. He's got it. And with 13:33 to play in the game, the Los Angeles Rams move still further in front as they've now taken a 20-0 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles. Namath 12 for 21 passing.
I drive a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they're built tough. Right, Daddy?
Right. And I bought a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they were built tough. Right, Daddy?
Yep. And I drive a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they were built tough. Right, Daddy?
That's right, yeah. My daddy came to Texas in a covered wagon. I had to learn about Fords on my own. I'm a smart old bird, ain't I?
Of all Ford trucks registered over the last 12 years, 93 out of 100 are still on the job. Now try and forget the 10th largest life insurance company in America, Lincoln National Life. We're easy to remember.
Is it a fling or the real thing? Julie falls for an older man on the season premiere of One Day at a Time, Tuesday following MASH.
Raphael Setien, who just hit the field goal, now kicking off for Los Angeles, and again he drills it into the end zone. This time the Eagles will bring it out. Larry Marshall with a full head of steam crashes out to the 29-yard line. And there, Philadelphia goes in offense 1st and 10. Newsom was down to make the play on special teams for the Rams, as the Eagles have not yet mounted a single challenge in this game offensively. They've not threatened to score yet. The Rams have controlled the ball 30 minutes to 15 minutes through the first 3 quarters.
Now, the Eagles last year had problems on their offensive unit. They were unable to get an average of no more than an average of 11 points per ball game. Only one time during the whole season of 1976 that they were able to get 20 points. And in the National Football League, unless you shut teams out, you must score an average from 17 to 20 points to win ball games.
The Eagles looking to up that offensive production. They scored only 19 touchdowns in 14 games last year. Larry Marshall, who is shaken up, appears to be all right. Jaworski with a gun pattern out to the flat, goes to Charlie Smith and makes the connection at the 36-yard line. Buffalo and the Broncos meeting up today at Denver. And Denver taking command of that game in the 3rd quarter, out in front 23-6. There was some question as to whether O.J. Simpson would play after sustaining an ankle injury last week in the loss to Miami. Miami's come back now to take the lead over San Francisco. Oakland continues to lead Pittsburgh 9-0. Pitch back goes. Running with the ball is Sullivan, and he is out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Bill Simpson came up to make the tackle. Bob Greasy has just thrown another touchdown pass for the Dolphins as they've come from behind to take the lead over the San Francisco 49ers 19-15 as that game is now in the 4th quarter. Jaworski throws. Carmichael coming back at the ball, had his hands on it at the 43-yard line of Los Angeles. Bob Brzezinski hit him and broke the play up.
I think it's the first time all afternoon that Carmichael has had one thrown in his direction, and it was then unable to come up with a grab.
In the fourth quarter, the Raiders continuing to shut out the Steelers 9-0. The Rams now go to 5 defensive backs on a long yardage play for the Eagles, 2nd down and 10. Jaworski gets it away and overthrows his man, swinging out of the backfield. Then turning out was Tom Sullivan, but he was guarded closely, and Jaworski had a little too much on it. And so again, the Eagles misfire and a passing down. Isaiah Robertson was covering the back coming out, Sullivan. In the 7th inning of the second game, the Yankees continue to lead Toronto 1-0 after the Yankees won the first game 15-0. Jaworski's now thrown the ball 18 times. He's completed 7 for 79 yards. He's been intercepted once. That interception by Bill Simpson late in the second quarter.
Yeah.
3rd and 10, and Jaworski drops once more. Throws a home run ball. And the play is broken up at the 11. Rod Perry was back defending against Charlie Smith.
They had to try Rod Perry for the home run ball. He has a cast on his hand. This time he covers well. He waited until he got right on him, turned. He might have gotten burned because he waited just a bit too long almost before he turned to get on his running position, but still covered well, was able to stay right with the receiver rather.
Ron Jesse's the leading receiver in the game, Emerson. He's caught 5 for 74 yards. Spike Jones shanks one. Going to hit down at about the 25-yard line, take a hop back upfield, and they'll rule it out of bounds just outside the 26-yard line. So the Rams send their offense back out with a 20-0 lead and 12:26 left to play in the game. Joe Namath conferring with the sidelines. He's had a big day for Los Angeles.
Inside this new Firestone radial tire is an improved steel cord with 5 million miles of developmental testing. Where once we used 5 strands, we now use 10 strands of steel. 7 around 2, wrapped by 1. A cord construction so important, Firestone named the tire for it. 7, 2, 1. The new steel-belted radial 721. Now, from Firestone.
The Quintrix 2-color picture tube from Panasonic brings you a very lifelike picture. Because Quintrix 2 is our inline picture tube with an extra pre-focus lens that concentrates and focuses the electron beam to bring you Panasonic's sharpest picture ever. So lifelike, you may even feel you're part of the picture. Quintrix 2, one more reason Panasonic is just slightly ahead of our time.
There's a Los Angelino who wants to look out at the sunshine field but doesn't want to have it beating down on his head. Rams have the ball, 1st and 10 and a 20-0 lead early in the fourth quarter. Eagles playing very aggressively on defense. They are closing down the Ram running game as the game wears on. Manny Sistrunk, the big defensive end from Arkansas A&M, who came from the Washington Redskins a year ago. Number 79 was on the stop for Philadelphia, but the Rams really looking to control the game by running the clock now as they have the big lead 20-0.
As the season progresses, you're going to hear a lot about this young Eagle defensive line and the linebacking corps. I think only time now will show the overall strength of this Eagle defense.
On 2nd and 8, they go right back to the run and advance the ball out close to the 33-yard line. Joe Namath now content to go into a very patterned offense. The Rams are perhaps the most conservative team, or have been, throughout the seasons in recent years under Chuck Knox, but that conservative football has brought them 4 consecutive NFC Western titles. They run the ball 2/3 of the time. Now we have another score coming in from Pittsburgh. Wow, the Raiders opening up a 16-0 lead as Van Egan just ran 8 yards for a touchdown for the Raiders. McCutcheon runs again on 3rd down and 5. Eagles cut it down. Berge was on the stop along with Frank LeMaster, and the Philadelphia Eagles will get the ball back on a punt now with 11 minutes to go in the ball game. Emerson?
Now you can see why Berge has voted All-Pro the last couple of years. He is Mr. Everything down at Philadelphia on that defensive unit, their leader. Sometimes a little bit too aggressive, overruns the plays when he tries to overcompensate for some other player, but a good one.
Glenn Walker is in deep to punt. McCutcheon has 106 yards and 23 carries. He caught 1 pass for 13 yards. That was good for a score. Larry Marshall is back deep for the Eagles.
Come on, Tony.
There's Glenn Walker standing back at his 17. The play is whistled dead before he kicked the ball. So we'll try it again. On 3rd down efficiencies, the Rams have had 16 third downs. They've converted 8 for first downs. The Eagles not quite so fortunate.
That tells the story. 1 out of 8 in 3rd down efficiencies. That shows whether you'll make it or break it in keeping your drive alive. A very important statistics for each offensive unit. The Philly Eagles only able to gain 1 third down out of 8 attempts.
Game. Stay on it.
And Los Angeles are hitting 50%, 8 of 16 third down attempts.
Larry Marshall again drops back deep after the 5-yard assessment against the Rams for delay of game. Oh, it takes a Ram roll and goes all the way down to the 22-yard line. And again, Jaworski and the Eagle offense starts off in a hole.
You wonder, Don, that whether he should have caught the ball there. The ball had bounced around the 30. He selected to let it roll. Loses another 9, 10, 12 yards.
Starting next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, the first of 10 weeks of competition among the world's strongest men. A top thoroughbred feature from New York's Aqueduct Racetrack, the Cup Race, and then motorcycle racing, the Super Bowl of motocross, an event staged here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. That's next Saturday at 4:30 on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Jaworski throws in the flat. Carmichael with a one-hand grab. Like a big racehorse, he moves the ball out across the 20-yard line and really ended up gaining little or no yardage. Monty Jackson was on the play to stop him along with Cody Jones.
With that pass reception, Harold Carmichael has now caught at least 1 pass in 66 consecutive games. Longest among active receivers. The NFL record is 105, held by Dan Obranowitz.
Carmichael went out of bounds. That stopped the clock with 10:08 to play in the game. It's 2nd down and 11. Jaworski throws hard, and Carmichael gets his 2nd reception of the day. This one good for 12 yards and a first down. Jim Youngblood back in zone coverage makes the stop as Dick Vermeil looks on. Pacing the sideline, one of his assistants, John Rowland, is with him. The Eagles have a pretty sound offensive line. They've improved that a great deal. Dwayne Putnam coaching those offensive linemen. And there's Chuck Knox, now in his 5th season as head coach of the Rams. There's a lot of speculation he might be leaving here to go to Detroit after last season, but recently signed a new long-term contract with the Rams. Jaworski throws and threw it away and very nearly intercepted as the Los Angeles Rams doing a nice job getting back in zone coverage. They got that field hemmed off on every side.
Yes, they do, but there's a more important battle going on right here. The Eagles are forced to throw the football right now, so the Ram defensive line knows that, and all they want to do is come off that football. It's a great day for a pass rusher because he has one thing on his mind: get to the passer, and it's a difficult task on the offensive line because they know they're going to throw the ball. They know that the defensive line knows, and it's a hard job for that Philly front four.
2nd down and 10 for Jaworski and the Eagle offense. Got men running over the middle. Got to hurry, gets it away. Ball was caught by Hogan. Ended up losing yards, but he certainly gets an A for effort. As Jaworski triggered the ball, and Rams were all over. The Rams are just right where the football comes. Watch this football.
The Rams are stunning. Loops. As you can see, Youngblood coming inside. He gets decked. And finally, the clinching blow here by Brooks. I think he should have eaten the ball.
One of the current assistant coaches with the Philadelphia Eagles, Marion Campbell, formerly played for the Rams. As you know, the Eagle fans remember him playing for the Eagles. He was a Pro Bowl player in their championship season in 1960. He used to coach the defensive front four, the fearsome foursome. Deacon Jones, Merlin Olsen, Roger Brown out here. Somebody asked him how you coach guys that good. He said, all you do is rattle the cage before the game. That's all you needed.
And let go the mongoose.
Whoa, very nearly intercepted at the 47-yard line.
This is what I was talking about earlier. The Los Angeles Rams know that the Eagles have to throw the football. They now have to think about one thing, and that one thing is pass defense. And thus far, the Rams have done well.
The Rams have completely contained the Philadelphia running game, forcing Jaworski into long yardage situations. Sullivan's only gained 11 yards in 4 carries. Hogan has only barely more than that, only about 12 yards. Billy Waddy and Cullen Bryant are back deep now for Los Angeles. Spike Jones going to run with the ball, hits it on the run, and really hits it. What a shot. And despite the valiant efforts of Vince Papale, who tried to down it, the ball goes into the end zone for a touchback. It'll come out 1st and 10 for Los Angeles. Now we have a timeout signal for on the field as the Los Angeles Rams, coming off an upset loss last week at Atlanta, are in command of this game 20-0.
Cold night, Bob. Did you put in the Presto antifreeze?
Presto, Presto. Who needs Presto?
Prestone. You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone! We need Prestone!
Prestone. You need Prestone.
Europe's most successful new car in history comes to America. Introducing Fiesta, now imported from Germany by Ford. Fiesta, 0 to 50 in an average of 8.8 seconds. Road gripping Michelin radial tires. The traction of front-wheel drive and excellent gasoline economy. Fiesta, Europe's most successful new car in history. Test drive one at your authorized Ford dealer now.
This is Don Criqui with Emerson Boozer back at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The Rams have obviously done what they wanted to do today. They wanted to get their offense on track. Their defense has been excellent. The Eagles now have just had no success opening up because they've been in passing downs the whole way.
I think both teams right now, the Rams, they have to maintain consistency after showing a good offensive punch. They have to continue with it. And on the other side of the disc, the Philadelphia Eagles must get some offense. It was that problem last year, along with not having a good rush. They've gotten apparently a good rush from the 4 linebackers. They need to get more offense.
We mentioned earlier the Rams have not lost a home opener since 1963. They have won 4 consecutive NFC Western championships under that man, Chuck Knox, who you remember vividly as a coach of the Jets. Assistant coach under Weave Eubank. Now 2nd and 2. There's Joe Namath. Handoff goes. John Capelletti turns upfield and is knocked down as he crosses the 20-yard line, gets out to the 22. Capelletti looking to turn it back in to stay in bounds. Ehlers and Berge were the men who knocked him down for Philadelphia. The Eagles have a lot of free agents. 2 of them started in their defensive backfield the outset of today. Herman Edwards and Eric Johnson, who was shaken up. They ran 110 free agents through their training camp. Looked at a lot of people and found some real good ones, some real bargains coming as free agents. As Dick Vermeil says, he'd rather have an inexperienced player out there with ability than an experienced player without ability, because you're going to grow with the basic talent. The ability's there. Here's Namath, who's not been sacked yet, gets the ball away. And Lawrence McCutcheon loses the handle as he tries to turn upfield. That stops the clock with 7:23 to play in the game. And now the Eagles are going to get it back as it's 4th down coming up. So Joe Namath now really pretty much content to get that clock run down if he can do it, as Martin Mitchell, a rookie from Tulane, and Larry Marshall drop back as twin safeties for Philadelphia.
The Eagles still have time, and where your scores have to come from is either your special team or you hit the home run pass right away with hope of getting back to the ball. And if done well, you can come back.
The ball goes out of bounds, didn't carry too deep. Len Walker's punt off the side of his foot somewhat, and the ball will be spotted down about the 48-yard line of the Eagles, and there Philadelphia goes on offense 1st and 10.
We might call that a break for the Philadelphia Eagles, having now to travel only about 52, 53 yards for a possible touchdown. So they must try to capitalize on the turnover here on a bad punt.
The punt only carried 30 yards. That earlier punt by Spike Jones off the run was good for 68 yards. The one that carried into the end zone. Jaworski dropping to throw, puts it up, man is open. It's intercepted by the Rams. The ball is picked off by Bob Brzezinski, the rookie from Ohio State. He brings it back to the Philadelphia 32.
I don't think Ron Jaworski saw Brzezinski coming back because he calmly stood in his pocket. A little nice soft touch on it, and Brzezinski just stepped under it and found himself a football.
McCutcheon over 100 yards rushing. John Cappelletti's rushed for 62 yards and 20 carries for Los Angeles. As the Rams again come out with those fleet wide receivers flanked to either side. Vermeil talks something over with wide receiver Charlie Smith. Jesse and Jackson wide either side. Namath goes to Wendell Tyler. Tyler cuts back inside and is hit hard by Manny Sistrunk, who's played a very fine brand of football for the Eagles in the defensive line since coming in from Washington.
When an offensive team is running against a three-down line team, puts a lot of pressure on that defensive end outside, because if they get to the corner, he's the only one there. The linebackers are trying to stay behind Sistrunk to cut it off if they get around. So at the point of attack, it's tough on a defensive end.
2nd down and 10 now. Rod Phillips is in the game for Los Angeles along with Wendell Tyler. Chuck Knox afforded the luxury of pulling his starting running backs. There's Rod Phillips, gets the ball down close to the 28-yard line. Pittsburgh is finally on the board at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Terry Bradshaw just threw to tight end Benny Cunningham for 43 yards and a touchdown, but Oakland in command of the game, as you see, 16-7.
3rd and 7.
Third down and still long yardage for the Rams. 3rd and 7. The ball at the 29-yard line. Namath puts it up wide open. The ball was underthrown. Namath thought to bring a chair out there and sit down. Jesse was open. Boy, he had about 3 steps in the deep back, Randy Logan, but the ball was underthrown and Logan came back and recovered.
I'm sure Namath is a little bit dejected with his pass that time, because he had Jackson in the open, Jesse rather, out in front. He threw the ball. If Logan had not fallen down, he would have had an interception.
Namath is now 12 for 23 for 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's been intercepted once. The Rams lead the game 20-0. And here is Setien in the game. Raphael Setien, as the 2 quarterbacks, Namath and Hayden, confer on the sideline. Not going to get there. Be a touchback, and the Eagles will take it over at their 20. So with 5 minutes and 38 seconds left to play in the game, the Philadelphia Eagles get the ball back. They'll have it 1st and 10. Actually, it'll be at the line of scrimmage on the missed field goal, since it was outside the 20. Philadelphia go 1st and 10 from their 29-yard line. The Rams have controlled this game from the outset. They've run the ball with consistency. Namath, with excellent protection, has thrown well, particularly in the first half, as the Eagles fell behind at the halftime by a score of 17-0. The Rams, with only 3 points here in the second half, if they played more conservative football, holding to a 20-0 lead. Ron Jaworski out and firing, a big rush against him. He gets the ball away. And Hogan Hogan comes out across the 30 to the 31, resulting in a gain of only 2 yards. Brzezinski, who really is in great position as a rookie linebacker, holding his portion of the field very nicely, made the hit.
It has to make the Rams very happy to have a rookie out there playing as well as Brzezinski has played today, but he must continue because the season is long. They're only into the 2nd week, and there's a lot of football to play.
You really get an idea of what it's like to be down in the field when you hear this sideline microphone. Listen to this now. That's the hitting. Over the middle, the antenna receiver was Carmichael, and Monty Jackson, who's a lot shorter but every bit as talented, stays right with him, goes way up in the air and breaks it up. Last year, Jackson had 10 interceptions, returned 3 for touchdowns. Dick Vermeil, a boyish-looking 40-year-old head coach. Now in his 2nd season as head man of the Eagles. He's got him on the right track.
Last week, Monty Jackson didn't have a pass thrown in his direction, and throughout the 1st and 2nd half, the Eagles were a little reluctant to throw that way. But now in desperation, they must throw the ball anywhere they can. So they're testing Mr. Jackson.
Here we go.
He also had a hold.
Holding, number 64, offense.
Big Ed George, the right tackle, called for holding on the play, and that's the first penalty in this game against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Rams have been assessed 55 yards in penalties. Again, Jaworski throws up the middle, and again it's overthrown. This time he was trying to get it in over the middle to his tight end. So that brings up 3rd down and long yardage now for the Philadelphia Eagles. Calling the plays from the sideline, it looks like him, with hand signals.
Yes, both clubs, Dick Vermeil along with Chuck Knox, they like to control their quarterbacks. And I'd say at this point, Vermeil has to turn loose late in the ball game because I think a quarterback sees a little bit more once he's into the action. That's the way the coaches are doing it, so they'll stay with it.
3rd and 18, I'm pretty sure the signals let it go, baby. Which he does. It's caught. But Hogan is cut down short of a 1st down at the 28-yard line. Bob Brzezinski again comes up as Hogan caught the ball, and as he's looking to turn upfield to get the 1st down yardage, he was knocked down a yard short of it. So the Eagles will punt the ball back to the Los Angeles Rams. Emerson, what do you think of Los Angeles the rest of the way? They look like a team that's going to be a real good football team. I think that bad first game might have been a benefit to them, really, now that they've tied it together.
Well, I think surely it was a lesson last week to the Rams that they cannot come into any ball game expecting them to lay over because they are the Los Angeles Rams. They have to gel offensively a little bit more. They had a good showing today, even though there's still time to play, and try to maintain that consistency.
Billy Waddy lost the ball but fell on it, and the Rams have the ball back. The Eagles say they have it, but let's see. Yeah, the Eagles got it. Waddy looked like he fell on it, but apparently an Eagle got to him first, but we'll have to get the official ruling. The Eagles, as you can see, are celebrating a recovery. And it's got to be official because their offense has been summoned back out.
That's what could happen. He might have had the ball once he got down to the ground. Well, you see here, 3 or 4 Eagles come around, then they become a tussle for the football. And if you can break away freely with it before the officials can untangle all the bodies, you'll come up with a football.
Martin Mitchell, 48, apparently was the guy who recovered. Jaworski guns it up. Oh! He threw a perfect strike, but to the wrong guy. Rod Perry picks it up. And here come the Los Angeles Rams right back down the field as the ball was picked off. Again, the 3rd interception. Monty Jackson got the interception, a man who had 10 last year.
I'm surprised the Eagles went in that direction. Monty Jackson led the Rams last year with 10 interceptions. Last week against the Falcons, they didn't throw in this direction at all. Today, he picks up his 1st interception for the 1977 season.
So the fumble by Waddy is quickly righted as they get the ball right back on an interception. Perry breaks into open field and runs ahead for 13 yards and a 1st down all the way down to the 40-yard line of Philadelphia. Rod Phillips got the call. Third year back from Jackson State. And there's an Eagle down in the field.
Looked like it might be Art Toms.
I think it is, the middle guard. Former #1 draft choice out of Syracuse by the Oakland Raiders. Next week, CBS again has a big schedule of regional coverage of National Football League action, including the Eagles and Lions at Pontiac, Michigan, outside Detroit, the Packers and Vikings at Bloomington, Minnesota, the Giants at Atlanta. Other parts of the country you'll be seeing other games, including New Orleans at Chicago, Tampa Bay at Dallas, San Francisco at Los Angeles, and then the big doubleheader game, the Cardinals and the Redskins at RFK Stadium in Washington. St. Louis won today, so did Washington, so they're tied up 1-1 in the NFC East. Dallas the leader right now with a 2-0 record. Dallas an easy victory over the New York Giants, a team that's also 1-1. Ron Jaworski on his return to Philadelphia. It's interesting. In 10 games he started as a professional quarterback, counting the preseason and the regular season. He's never been a losing quarterback. He's 10-0 until today when he runs into his old mates, the Los Angeles Rams, who had the Eagles running game totally defensed, and subsequently the passing game of Philadelphia was shut down. Art Toms going off the field, apparently all right, and with 3:31 left to play in the game, the Rams have the ball at the 40-yard line of Philadelphia. It'll be 1st down and 10. Joe Namath has gone the distance at quarterback for the Rams. Went all the way last week when he hit 15 of 30 passes and had some 4 dropped. But that was not such a good day for the Rams, as they were beaten by a heavily underdog Atlanta Falcon team 17-6. Rams go straight to the run. Rod Phillips gets the call, running straight ahead. Excellent zone blocking by the Los Angeles Ram offensive front. The big lineman just firing out at whatever shirt is across from him. Nothing fancy.
The crowd is applauding Doug France. He had came back from a cartilage removal back from August 7th and has played well here today.
Yeah, he was hurt in the first preseason game. Great football. Namath falling on it, and they hate to see Namath going to the ground with big people jumping on him.
I'm sure they don't want him to run the football, Don. Remember a few years back in Oakland, we had a substitute running back in. He got in trouble. He flipped the ball back to Joe Willie. Joe tried to run, so we go to the sideline. Weave says, hey, young fellow, we do not pitch our ball back to the quarterback. If you don't have room, you eat it.
Hey, one way you can get cut real fast from the Jets when Weeb Eubank was the coach was to be a running back and not pick up a blitz. Jim Nance was having a pretty good year one season until he forgot to pick up a blitz once, and he was cut. Rod Phillips working hard as he gets the ball down to the 31. It'll be just short of a 1st down.
With Joe Willie at quarterback for the New York Jets, that was priority number 1. If you could not block for the passer, you could not play.
Herman Edwards made the tackle. The Rams will go for it, very obviously, with a command of the game, 20-0. And 4th and less than a yard to go. Here comes big Charlie Young in the game.
Don, this marks Joe Namath's first game here as a Los Angeles Ram. I think the first time that he's played in the Coliseum. We were here as a Jet team a few years ago to play. Joe was hurt. He got a standing ovation. He had a cast on his right hand. Could not play. And they applauded.
Now we have 2 minutes left to go in the game. We have an official timeout on the field as the Rams are going to go to their first win of the year.
We have assembled here a most congenial group brought together by the love for a truly great beer. Right, group?
Right.
It's light beer from Miller. Right, group?
Right.
They think the best thing about it is it's less filling. It has 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. Right, group?
Right.
Wrong. The best thing about it, it tastes great.
No, Horny, it's less filling.
Says who?
Says me.
Hey, take it from me. It tastes great. Who are you?
You won't think this fight is no joke when you come to and your nose is broke.
No wonder you don't get no respect.
I tell you, I don't deserve no respect.
You still don't know nothing about beer.
I thought I threw you out of this sport last year. I feel very strongly both ways. I never argue.
Hi, Mickey.
Hi, doll.
What's a nice guy like you doing in a fight like this?
Waiting for you, doll.
I still don't know why they wanted me to do this commercial.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The Rams break the huddle as the game comes down now to the final 2 minutes of play. Los Angeles with 4th and less than a yard. Rams lead 20-0. Straight ahead power run by Rod Phillips carries Los Angeles to a first down at the 28-yard line. And most importantly for Joe Namath and the Ram offense right now, they're running the clock. They have had command of this game, have dominated possession of the ball, moved out to a 17-0 halftime lead. That lead now up to 20-0. New wide receivers Dwight Scales is in the game wide to the right. Wendell Tyler runs hard. Tyler gets ahead for a first down all the way down to the 17-yard line. A hard running back from UCLA. Tom Ayler's in the game, knocked him down, number 59.
Fine execution here by the Ram offensive line. Both should be a little bit tired, but the key factor here is the Rams have suffered. I would say if McCutcheon and Capoletti were in there, that play would not have developed as well because they have gone just about all of the ball game, and with the two flush runners, give them a crack, they will go.
You see the game clock winding down. Now Wendell Tyler is knocked down on first down carry. He got nowhere. Randy Logan, the strong safety from Michigan, number 41, came up to make the stop. The Eagles, realizing they cannot come back and win this game, are letting the game clock run.
Don, this is a tough situation for a young, rebuilding Philadelphia Eagle club. Last week coming off a good win over Tampa Bay, but meeting up this Sunday against an angry Ram club. The report all week long out here is that the Rams had fierce workouts. They wanted to win this game assuredly at home, and it appears with 8 seconds to go on the clock that they have done exactly what they set out to do early in the week.
The Rams will have now defeated the Eagles in their last 5 meetings. They just did. The Los Angeles Rams, who were looking for a big win and needed one very badly, certainly got it today as they come off an upset loss in their opening game of the season and behind excellent defense in the right arm of Joe Namath and some superior offensive line blocking. The Rams beat the Philadelphia Eagles in a shutout 20-0 as the Eagles get set to go to Detroit and the Rams go to San Francisco. We'll be back to update all the action around the National Football League in a moment.
Come on, old trademark. Time for your walk. Where will you take me? Sure wish you could talk. I know what you'd tell me. How your family began with the same Levi's blue jeans worn by this man. Hey, here comes more Levi's, red, yellow, and blue. Freewheeling kiddos are wearing them, too. And what a surprise. Look who's been window shopping for clothes. Yeah, a gal in her Levi's instinctively knows of your special appeal. Enough of this kissing, little registered mark. Time that we meet some guys by the park. Dressed in your newest edition. Sums it up right there. Levi's Sportswear. Hey, trademark. This looks like the place where tomorrows begin. Your family's future. Sure looks like it should. That's right, little trademark. Levi's don't have to be blue. Just have to be good.
Cold night, Bob. Did you put in the Presto antifreeze?
Presto, presto. Who needs Presto?
Prestone. You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone! We need Prestone!
Prestone. You need Prestone.
This is Don Criqui with Emerson Boozer back at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Very shortly, we hope to be visiting with Joe Namath down on the field, who quarterbacked the Rams to a very substantial victory here today over the Philadelphia Eagles, 20-0. We'll also be updating scores from elsewhere around the NFL. The game at Pittsburgh, the Oakland Raiders still in command of that. The Los Angeles Rams, Emerson Boozer, your overall assessment after watching them.
Right now, the Rams have done what they wanted to do. They are the kind of club that are deliberate. You'll know from week to week what they will do, and that number one thing they'll do is run the football at you. And with the passing arm of Joe Willie Namath, many people say that he was finished, but seeing some of the older quarterbacks around the league throw the football, I say, because I've played with this guy for 10 years, that he still can throw the football.
Well, I think a lot of people agree with you right now, because when they gave him the time today, he certainly looked sharp, drilling the ball up and down the field as the Rams really played the game just as they wanted to play it. They wanted to possess the ball. They did that with their running game, mixing it with the pass, and of course with excellent defense. It shut down the Philadelphia running game almost totally.
I'm glad you mentioned defense, because the Eagle offense is not all that bad, even though they need lots of improvement there. But the Rams had to get a good defensive effort together today to shut down the Philly offense. Last week against Atlanta, they played poorly down there, missing tackles, not really shutting down the holes as they should. This week they got it all together.
Okay, now let's hear from the man himself, Joe Namath. Joe, Don Criqui, along with your friend Emerson Boozer up here in the booth. He had a very excellent day. Congratulations. You look as good as ever.
Well, thank you. We did have a good day for a change. Most of the game, though, was dictated by our defense. Offensively, we got off to a pretty good start and got some points on the board. But offensively, we did get a bit complacent in the second half because the defense was doing so well, and we got a bit more conservative. But we're sure happy with the win.
Joe, I think you should have your defense, or your offense rather, take a break next week, because they played basically all of the football game. You threw as well as I've seen you throw in your career, and the word is, give Joe Namath protection. He will burn you.
We're throwing okay early, but I got conservative in the latter part of the throwing and started trying to not make a mistake, and that was the big problem with the throwing later. But the defense did the job, and here's Freddie. Freddie can tell you about the defense and the stunts that we did to use today. Freddie, tell him about the defense.
Okay, right now?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't give them any points. We played very well. And how do I look, by the way?
Look very well, Freddie. And now if you just talk, attaboy.
Hello.
Freddie, Emerson Boozer.
Hi, Em.
Normally, when you're coming off the rush, you're very quick coming off the line. You normally get the extra back setting back there after you've beaten your tackle.
That damn guy was back there all day. We ran stunts. Larry and I, the whole front four, decided, well, if we can't get to them individually, because they keep 60 protection back there. I'm sure you know what that is, Em.
I think I recall.
They keep those big old fat halfbacks in there, and they block us. So they did a good job of picking us up all day. So of course, Ronnie had a short set, and he got rid of the ball pretty well.
How effective is that on a defensive end? After you beat your tackle, which is a much bigger man,
yeah,
their set's a little pesky running back.
It's aggravating. I think that the biggest thing you do, you prepare yourself all week to play against a big guy, and the guy I played against was very good, and he's very big. And the next thing, after you beat him, after finally in the third quarter, you get to where you're maybe getting some leeway with that guy. You got a little back in there buzzing around your feet. I don't like that myself.
Freddie, you don't meet the Philadelphia Eagles anymore this season. What did you expect from their offensive unit?
Well, Ronnie is an emotional type of guy, and he does a hell of a job getting rid of the ball quick and running deep crossing patterns. He's done that all the preseason, and he did that here against us in the preseason. We expected that. We thought they'd run a little bit more, but Joe did a hell of a job getting us ahead early, and when that happens, the other team now has to abandon a lot of stuff and get the ball in the air, which gives the front four, that's us, lots of times and lots of fun to rush them.
Fred, how delighted are you when you know that your opponents have to throw the football?
I like it. We haven't had that around here in a long time. Although we're a good team, we can get a lot of sacks and stuff. We got to have a guy who can, we need an offense who can come out and explode real early, get ahead of them, and then beat up on them defensively. That's what we like to do.
Hopefully your Ram offense, headed by my old teammate and buddy Joe Willie Namath, will get you that kind of striking power that you need. You've got great receivers, super running backs.
Absolutely.
And it appeared today that the offensive line did a superb job, both in running and blocking for the passer.
Okay, here's Joe. Oh.
I just want to say the wind was a major factor today.
Joe, thank you very much, and continued success the rest of the way. Joe Namath and Fred Dreyer, the Los Angeles Rams, as your final score again here at the Coliseum. The Rams 20 and the Philadelphia Eagles nothing.
I've got enough to worry about. My roses, my back, weeds. When it comes to my money, I let someone else help me do the worrying. Ben here, my IDS representative. He worries about planning for my future. And that means not just life insurance, but investments and savings, too.
IDS, not just insurance, not just investments, but a financial plan designed especially for you. When it comes to your money, let us help you do the worrying. IDS, we help people manage money.
I'm gonna keep on doing that till I get it right. Yeah, I work hard and I play hard, and I use new STP gas treatment. You just pump it in your tank and it goes to work cleaning your carburetor. I take good care of my wheels on account of I'm cheap. I bet you are, too. Try it.
Alcoa can't wait. We must transmit the power to our homes and factories. We gotta make the highway safe for folks like you and me. Our cars should be lighter for the most from every mile. We must clean up, recycle, and make the whole world smile. We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
The skyline of downtown Los Angeles. Far in the distance, off from the Coliseum, where the Rams won today 20-0. Of course, this is the second weekend of play in the NFL's 1977 season. And we're going to look at now some of the other finals. The Washington Redskins had a hard time of it against the Atlanta Falcons, a much improved team under rookie coach Lehman Bennett. But the Redskins prevailed 10-6, and you'll see them next week as the doubleheader game on CBS against the St. Louis Cardinals. Detroit went out to an early lead, held on to beat New Orleans 23-19. That, of course, the Lions, the next week opponent of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Baltimore Colts went to Giants Stadium in New Jersey, a big favorite to beat the Jets. The Jets held in, but not enough. Baltimore winning its second straight game by the 20-12 score. Cincinnati opened up today after an upset loss to Cleveland the first week. The Bengals routing the Seattle Seahawks 42-20. A big final in from St. Louis. The Cardinals coming off a very disappointing 7-0 loss last week at Denver. Got a lead on the Chicago Bears and then held on to beat Chicago 16-13. Dallas opening up Dorsett with his biggest run as a Cowboy so far, 34 yards for a touchdown, as Dallas had a lot of points on the board today, beating the Giants 41-21. Two defensive starters in the Giant front four were out of that game, George Martin and John Mendenhall. The Houston Oilers, apparently back on track under Bum Phillips after an offseason a year ago, have now won their second game. After shutting out the Jets a week ago, they go to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and beat the Packers 16-10 in what was, we're told, a very tough physical football game. The Packers now 1-1 through 2 weeks of play. This is an unusual series in the AFC's Western Division. The last 7 times these two teams have played, San Diego and Kansas City, the visiting team has won. It happened again today at Kansas City's Arrowhead Stadium. San Diego winning 23-7. In the fourth quarter, the Denver Broncos are en route to their second win of the season, as they are out in front of the Buffalo Bills 23-6 in the fourth quarter. They'll be 2-0 after today's play. The final has come down from Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The Miami Dolphins, with a lot of young players in their defense, and Bob Greasy wearing regular spectacles now, eyeglasses. They win for the second week in a row. Miami 19, the San Francisco 49ers 15. That's the final score just in. And a big final just in from Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Those two teams who met in the AFC Championship game a year ago when the Oakland Raiders prevailed over Pittsburgh 24-7. The Steelers said it would be different this year when they had Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier back in their offensive backfield. It was not different. Oakland controlled that game, led at 1 point 16-0, winning at Pittsburgh today 16-7. The Raiders players say they are better than the Super Bowl team that won in January. And Emerson, quite possibly they are.
They are a fine club. They're one of the winningest clubs in the National Football League. They are tough.
And our thanks to these fine gentlemen for their usual excellent work. Our producer, Bob Stenner. Our director today was John McDonough. Associate Director, Ray Ball. Technical Director, Jay Fairman. Our thanks for our help in the booth from Chuck Panama, Nazi Lang, and Art Hoffman. As we come to you from the Los Angeles Coliseum, where today it was the Los Angeles Rams A decided victory over the Philadelphia Eagles by a final score of 20-0. The Rams moving on now to the San Francisco 49er matchup they play next week here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, while the Philadelphia Eagles, with a record of 1-1, move on to play the Lions of Detroit next week. And there is the man who did the job today, Joe Namath of the Los Angeles Rams. He has gone the distance at quarterback throughout the first 2 games, has played all 8 quarters, was effective last week, but not nearly as effective as he was today, as his offensive line put a cordon of blockers around him every time he dropped a throw, and Joe Namath ate up the pass defense. Now for Emerson Boozer, this is Don Criqui. The final score at Los Angeles, the Rams 20, the Eagles nothing. The NFL today is a presentation of CBS Sports.